Hey everyone, it's Ed from ServiceNow Flowrider coming at you with another fairly short video this time, I think, to do with ServiceNow Flow Designer. Hopefully this is a little bit better than the last two videos. We've got a new Yeti microphone, which is 1,000 times better than what I was using before to get the audio through. So hopefully this is a lot better for everybody to actually hear me properly. So what I want to do, first of all, is introduce you to the ServiceNow Flow Designer link record generator created by Kieran Anson. Now this has been a game changer for me in my flows that I build all the time. And what it will do, as you can see probably in the pictures down here, it gives you the ability to create hyperlink references in our journal fields, HTML links or portal links. So what we're going to do, we'll take advantage. We can see Kieran's generated a GIF here about how he's actually gone through and set this all up. So we're actually going to go through, create a basic flow to do with sending, let's just say, a email on a change request table when the planned start and end dates are finished. So the change is really expired. So now we can alert our user to say, your change is expired, here's the link, go review it, close it off. So without further ado, let's get started here. So I've just signed into my PDI, and what I'm going to actually do, first of all, is I'm going to bring in my link generator, upload that. So this has just been a straight download from the Share ServiceNow site. You can see Kieran Anson is the developer for this one here. Preview the update and then commit the changes as we normally would when we're retrieving an update or bringing update sets across between environments. So hopefully that will go through fairly quickly, which it seems to be. There we go. Okay, so that's now ready for us to use. So what we'll do, let's go in and refresh our Flow Designer page. And let's start up a new flow. Oh man, it's taking forever. And as we mentioned, let's call it expired change request. Reminder. I always like to run it from the system user, then no permissioning issues come into effect. But you can obviously choose to have it on the record user or the system user, up to you. So let's skip this tool rubbish. And what we'll look at doing is setting up a daily reminder for a change request that's been left open. And let's set this to go daily. We can have it weekly or once a month, but as the idea is that we want to actually get someone to close a change request off or any other update to a record, whichever table we want to use, then we can just click daily. Let's just send this daily at 4 o'clock. Does that work in 24 hours? Yeah, it does. So 1,600 hours. I want to send it at 4 o'clock in the morning. That would be terrible. So what we're going to do first of all, we obviously need to start looking up change requests. So we're going to look up the records, because there could be quite a few here. We don't just want to look at one record, then only return the first result or fail it. The idea is we want to try and capture everyone who's has a change request that's expired, no matter where they work or what team they're in, and actually send them the emails here. So we'll look up the change request table. Change request, there it is. And then we want to be particular about our criteria here. So we don't just want to send a change request that's just been submitted, it hasn't gone off for approval yet, but the dates have expired. That seems a bit harsh. So let's add a couple of conditions here. So the first one, we want to look at the state of the change request. And we can say it's one of, so we can say generally when a change request is going through and it has been approved, we're looking really at the schedule, implement, and review stages. There are open stages once a change request has been approved. So we don't want to send it for closed, cancelled, new, assessing. which is your reviewing stage, or authorize where it goes through cab. These are our open stages down here. Then we also want to think about, okay, we don't want to send the reminder unless the end date has now expired. So we'll look at the planned end date and we'll say at or before, and let's just go yesterday. So anything that expired yesterday or has a date before yesterday's date, we're going to send an email on. We can go into a bit more detail as well by saying the type is either a standard change, normal change, or emergency change. Let's just go normal change, as I've already clicked on it there. And I believe on the change request table, we've got an on hold reason, an on hold, whether it's true or false. So we don't want to send an email out if a change request is on hold. And they're already telling us that something's not happening with it, it's pending something else, so we're not going to send those reminders. So let's just say on hold is false, not checked. Hopefully there won't be 1,000 records to return, so that should be okay. And what we'll do, let's save that. And then we'll add a next action. So now we've got our lookup. What are we actually going to do with this one? So we're going to go for our for each logic again. We'll look up the records. So for each one of the records that hit the criteria, now what we're going to do is use our plugin that we've just installed, which is our link generator, found in its own spoke. And we're going to click on link generator. So for each change request that has expired, that's in the various different states that we chose, expired before yesterday, to normal change, and it's not on hold, for each one of these we want to generate a link. And we'll use that link when we send an email in the next step. So for each one, what we want to do is, Kieran's just built this, it's nice and simple, table name, change request. Doesn't need to be anything more than that. If you're looking at sending generating a link on the request item table, sc_req_item. Incident table would just be incident, so on and so forth. Task table, sys user table, anything is just type in the string table name into that field. Next thing we want to do is choose the sys ID of the record. So we want to find the lookup record here. Out of our for each one. And we can see we're going to the change request record, and we'll just scroll down to sys ID. That's the sys ID of the record. We can give it a link, so we can say, click here, or I like to just choose the number of the record. So CHG XXXXX, number string. And if we're heading to the service portal, we can change this to whatever address or whatever prefix it is for our service portal, or suffix actually, sorry. I always get confused between prefixes and suffixes. But for now, I'm not going to do anything there because I'm sending it to the platform UI view because it's going out to an ITIL user, I guess, is raising change requests. So they're not going to be looking at on the service portal. So that's done. And all I want to do here as well is just choose our send email option. So my target record, of course, is going to be my change request record. It's already picked up the change request table. It's going to include my watermark. And what I now want to do is have a look and bring up my email for who's raised the change request. So I can have a look at this. I can see who the assigned to person is, and then walk through to my user information. I want to pick up the email address, or indeed I could just choose assigned to, and that will work just fine as well. What might be even worth doing as well is that when we're actually sending an email, let's CC in their manager too. So we can do this sort of thing. So we can just go, let's have a look at the assignment group, who the change will be assigned to. And then we want to pick up the manager of that group. Nice and simple. And then we'll just give it a subject line. So we want to actually say, let's give the number as well again. So this will be change 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And let's just say planned end date expired. So the user knows what this is, what the email is actually about. Let's go hi. We can walk through the fields as well to pick up the assigned to first name if we want to. So let's just do that real quick. Sure, everyone's quite comfortable with this, hopefully by now. Let's just go first name. Where are we? Now, this is where we use our link generator. So what I want to do here, I want to start off my email with hi Ed, change request X has now got the expired planned date, the planned end date of X as well, which we'll fill that in, and then a call to action. So all I need to do to include this link generator is click on link as we normally would, and I can give it either a UI journal field, which you're generally just writing into a record, or I can give it an HTML link. I actually want to go to the, what am I looking for? The native UI HTML link. So the native UI being the platform UI rather than the portal. So I want to send them there. And it's an HTML link. It's not a journal link that we'd find on like the incident record or something like that. So I just want to include the link there. And then I can just carry on typing. And then here, of course, we can see that we shall look up the record and find out what the planned end date was. That's just the date and times. There's no need to put anything else in there, which has now passed. And then we'll just say, thanks. Let's sign off with Ed. That's pretty much the flow there. So essentially what we're doing, just to recap as well, we're sending a reminder for change requests in a certain state, not on hold. For each one, we're generating a link to the individual record, and then we're sending an email. So if we run a test on this, if I had a lot of expired changes, which I haven't even looked to see if I do have or not, this flow would send an email off to Ed, it'll send an email off to Steve, it'll send an email off to Paul and Jenny. It will all have expired change requests. So let's just go ahead and save that. I'm going to run a test run. And what I should have done absolutely is actually go through and see if there were any expired changes. Let's have a look at the emails to see exactly what it's done. Cool, so that spent no no emails. Let's actually go have a look at the change requests table. And let's have a look at normal changes. And let's actually push one through the approval process. So we can see this one here, created by, well, assigned to David Liu. We had an implementation date of, depending where you are, that looks like it was the schedule 9th of the 10th, I think that is in American dates. I think it sets it by, yeah, it's the 9th of October. So that's obviously been and gone. So let's actually just go and see if we can just approve this one here. $10 years later. Okay, so that's now approved. So that's now moved into scheduled. So this is where our flow would now pick this up if it was 5 o'clock. So I'll just run a test again. And let's actually see what it does. Here we go. Let's go back into emails again, and hopefully we'll see an email that goes off to David Liu. Okay, it's obviously not generating for some reason here. Ah, there we go. It's got no recipients. But if we actually look in our, for each, it's picked up our change request, which should be ending in 9.6, which it is. Picked up our change request here. It's generated our HTML link, which is our native UI portal link here. We can see the full link. And if it was going to send an email, it would send all the details in here. But unfortunately, we haven't got an email address for David Liu set up in the platform. No recipients. That's obviously failed, which is fine. Let's It's got David Lewis example there. What I might actually do, let's see if we can dot walk this properly through to the email address. Let's pick up the assign to. Now for each change record, let's go assigned to, and let's go email. What I'll do, let's hit another test on this one. And please work, please work, please work. Here we go, that's completed. What it's done, we can see it's picked up our change request record, generated our links as it did last time. And what it's done now, it's sent an email to, where's our email address here? davidlewdexample.com. Brilliant. What we'll need to do with the manager field, we pick up the manager email too, just by dot walking through the table. And let's have a look at actually how the email has come out. Here we go. And let's go preview email. And nice and simple. Hi David, it's picked up the first name. Change request has the expired date of this, which is now passed. Click on the link. And we land straight on the change request. How cool is that? What we can do as well, we can go further with this if we wanted to. So for each entry that has an expired change request, we can go through and update the change request if we wanted to say change request record. Let's just say our internal work notes and say auto reminder sent as change has expired. So we can actually keep a full-on track of that as well, if we so wanted to. I won't demo that. All we have to do now is activate the flow, and then that'll be set up and we'll run through daily. So as I mentioned before, this flow designer link record generator has been an absolute game changer. No manual code, having to put in sysids and hoping it works. Because it's funny as well, because if you're sending another example of a use case could be to do with approvals. So you can say that, yeah, your assess or your approval is now expired, or you've had it for a week, or whatever situation or scenario you want to run through. And then what you can do is include that link generator, because generally you're looking at the sysapprovers table, which is very difficult to get the full dot walk into, say, a change request or an incident. It wouldn't be an incident, a request item, because they're talking to two different tables. This completely covers that gap. So good on you, Kieran, for making this. It's been a game changer for me. That's pretty much all I wanted to walk you through today. That's been everything there. If you have any questions or comments, or need any, or suggest any other videos for me, please let me know. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel. That's the only way I can really grow it, is by getting people to watch the content and subscribe. And yeah, hope you all have a good rest of the day. Catch you next time.